And I know this will be another episode probably, but seeing that news about PlayStation making the pull back, taking their games off of PC as well. And that's the whole loop right now. This news just came out today about this new Xbox that's supposed to play PC games as well. And I think, what do you think? That might be PlayStation being like, well, you're not going to be playing our shit on an Xbox, so
I don't even think it's
It'll
that,
be a
Dave. What I think
fatal error.
is it's the sales. I think when the PlayStation first put their games out on PC, it was like, oh, this is awesome. But it's kind of lost its luster. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we can look into the research. I doubt that the PC games are even like 5% of their total like revenue. I think they just realized it wasn't an endeavor, but also I think you might be on something there with like them making this jump to basically a console PC hybrid with Xbox. Absolutely. Your competitor is slowly dying out. Again, like put the boot to the throat if that's what you want to do, or if you don't care. I mean, all their games are on your console. Everything that's going to come out is going to be on your console. Again, I get the Xbox loyalty, Nick. I get that you had a bad experience with PlayStation customer service, but when you look at it from a solely analytical point, it's not a console war anymore. It's an existence for Xbox, I feel like. And like maybe this Project Helix comes out and it's amazing, but like the console war was lost years ago. And it's just like, we'll see. I want Xbox to continue to exist, but I think it might just exist in a niche market, kind of like the Steam machine will. Like, I think that's where it's at now. And the two major like competitors, and I don't even think they compete with each other because Nintendo doesn't compete with anyone. Nintendo is Nintendo. And I think that's what we'll talk about. I think it'll be no one's really competing, which is never going to be good, but no one's really competing with each other because Xbox has given their games to PlayStation. So it's like, okay, well, you can play on this ecosystem, or you can play on ours, or you can play on Nintendo's, and Nintendo's never going to let anyone have their games.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Them taking their games from PC is going to do nothing but hurt their exclusives, though.
No, not at all. They don't sell over there. Even when Spider-Man 2 went out, it barely sold. Like they sell everything on their hardware. So if it was successful and it was making money, they would not have stopped doing it because it doesn't hurt them as of right now.
Spider-Man 2 on Steam, at least, doesn't say the amount of downloads. I could look at that, but it has almost 14,000 reviews.
Yeah, that's nothing compared to its total sales.
Though. Requiem has 26,000, but I bet you I could tell you how much. Let me see. Y'all continue, though. I'm just saying, I mean, sure, they could try to fuck up Xbox, but if they want their exclusives to be successful,
I think they're just going to have their exclusives be exclusive. Yeah. And I think what they're going to do is what they did with Helldivers. Any of their live service games will definitely, if they're smart, make those multi-platform. I think that's a smart move because like anything that they need that big audience to survive, but I think anything single player, I don't see why you would put it on any. I don't see why because Xbox doesn't believe in that anymore. But like, there's no real reason like you put Fable on there, except that you're just gonna put Fable on there because there's no reason to fight it anymore. Is how I
just mean for like the developers of the games and sales and all that stuff.
No, I understand that, but I mean, if it's not, it must not be making money. That's what or not making enough money to justify it. I should say better than that.
About 1 million sales for Spider-Man 2 on Steam.
And what's the total sales of the game?
Let's see.
But again, like we're kind of like picking apart here. Yeah,
I agree with you, Chris. That I don't think that everyone has their set crowd. PC people want PC these days to be like playing like a streamer. Playing these live service games and these multiplayer games. If someone's gonna get not like Wolverine and Saros being PlayStation exclusives, like
makes you want to buy a PlayStation.
Yeah, those are games you want to sit back on the couch and play anyways, like Spider-Man or other. So I think that will be the path. The live service games always, bring in more players, bring in more people willing to get a battle pass. But if you're trying to get people to buy your hardware, your machine, be like, oh well, This is the only way you can sit down on your 80-inch TV and play the new Wolverine. You know, you got to buy this.
Yeah. Well, also I would say, Nick, we always joke around being the PlayStation Xbox guys back and forth, but like PlayStation is not without fault. They just closed down Blue Point not too long ago. We had a whole discussion about that last week. So it's like obviously they're looking where they can cut, and if they think this is a spot where they can cut, it's not going to hurt the bottom line that bad. You know, that's how I look at it too. I think it's a double win for them. It's a kill two birds one stone. It's like, okay, it hurts Xbox and we can save a bunch of money because the money we're making does not justify us doing it, because it's developer costs. They got to optimize the game to be able to play on PC, and I don't pretend to know how that all works, but I'm sure it's not as easy as just copy and paste into a new thing. You know what I mean?
And I'll tell you, dude, I loved the PlayStation. The controller is way better than the Xbox, 100%. I'd say it's more comfortable, it's more intuitive, but their history of being hacked is just, it's tough, dude. It's tough for me. Like that was a headache and a half, and it's like I just, even if they drop the greatest game ever, and their customer service is horrible. So that's what for me where it's like it just makes it so hard. Like if those two things were good, I would have fixed my HDMI and I'd be playing. I might have even got Requiem on the PlayStation. I don't know. And those two things have nothing to do with the games. They have nothing to do with the exclusives. They have nothing to do with the interface of PlayStation, the parties, how the whole thing works. But those are two things that like just really soured the experience of the whole system for me, because I just think I'm like, man, if I get hacked again and then I'm going to have to battle with customer service for 3 days to get back into my own account that I've dropped hundreds of dollars on games for, it just, that's what really did it for me.
No, I mean, again, I understand that. And that's where, like what I said, we got to take it away from just a fully analytical standpoint with no feelings involved and, facts over feelings. And it just shows that PlayStation's dominating. And then, like, even the PS5 is outsold the Switch 2. You know what I mean? The Switch 2 is brand new. So, I mean, I don't know if that's more speaking about Nintendo more than it is PlayStation, but that's something to look at as well. I think we let this sit, let it simmer a little bit. I'm curious to see with this Helix. We got the teaser this week. We'll see how that all looks.
We could keep going for a while.
See how it all.
I was cooking up all these thoughts, but I'm like, let's
we could go on forever.
Let's save it for another time when we have a little more information.
Absolutely. And I think, honestly, I'm thinking next week might be a good time to really deep dive this, because that's given us about 2 weeks to ruminate. They're making these announcements. We'll see what other news pops up between now and then, because it seems like with both these two, they're always something.